I'm actually proud of myself because technology and me don't get along. As soon as I press stream, the sound cuts off and then the thing shut down. But I didn't lose my temper. I just realized that it's just technology. And yeah, and that's it. And then I wasn't mad. And so I got us started again. And you just let me know if we're even on right now. I think we're on. All right, we're good. Thank you to the username Nicole, who I don't really know who that is, but probably just a random fan. I'm just kidding. All right, I just want to say before we start, I'm going to try to be unbiased as possible because I want to be professional with the show because it is getting so much attention. The show is, and the story. And I'm not going to say my show is like the best ever. It's just popular because of the story, right? But it is getting a lot of plays. So I want to be as unbiased as possible. I'm going to try my best with this episode. And so anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Every day I'm going to put out a new episode because there's so much content on it, and I'm really interested in it. Really interested in this. And yeah, if you haven't listened to it yet, hit one of the links and whatever, if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble or Twitter, hit one of the links there and go follow. We are now number 48 true crime podcast in the United States. I'm super happy about that. That's a huge milestone for me. Huge. I'm going to show you right quick. And then we're going to get started. This ain't going to take too long. I just want to tell you the research that I found today for today's episode. And I will say it might be a little what's the word? Not advanced, but a little technical because it's insurance. But I think I can make us all understand what's going on here. See, I had started this thinking like everyone else that this problem started with the AI revolution from the past couple of years. And I've been reading a book, the one that Luigi read, obviously, called Deny, Delay, Defend. And that book was written in the 90s first, apparently. And, well, it was written soon after, once this guy, the scholar, figured out what was going on with the insurance. But the whole thing that we're seeing now was a product of the 90s. Anyway, we're going to get into it. And thanks for everyone being on the chat. I'm on the YouTube right now, Nicole. Let's see, without my glasses, Desiree, Sable, Andy, what's up, guys? See you there. Thanks for being here. But just to, I don't know, not brag, but just to show you, this is our podcast. So go subscribe. You see, Spotify sent me this today, number 48, top true crime podcast, December 30th, 2024 in the United States. I am like super stoked about that. Spotify doesn't have as much traffic as iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, but still, I mean, Spotify is a huge player, and that's incredible news for me. So anyway, let's get started with this episode. So today we're going to talk about the insurance practices. You've been hearing this word, and the podcast is called Delay, Deny, Depose. You've been hearing those words. What do they mean? We're actually going to just look at one of those words today, which is delay, is the main one we're going to be looking at. But as I continue to read this book, and the book is currently like number one trending. You can't even buy it really on Amazon anymore. You can get the Kindle version. It's $1, which is definitely recommended. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to kind of see what everyone is talking about. So when you hear those words, and I always screw them up, delay, deny, depose. When you hear those words, or if you hear delay, deny, defend, any one of those combinations, you'll know exactly what is being talked about. So this story actually starts in the mid 1990s. It reminds me a lot of The Big Short. If you've seen The Big Short or read the book, and I'm talking about the movie here, but there's a scene in the movie where these fat jacket Wall Street types, and there's one guy in particular, he's got a porno stash, if I can remember correctly. He's got this burlap suit or whatever. He walks up to these investors and he pitches them this idea about combining housing loans and putting them in tranches and all this jargon that is really advanced. Basically what he's doing is he's weighing down he's watering down house loans. He's bundling everything up, even bad loans with people not going to pay. He's going to bundle them up with really good loans, and it just gets out of control. That scene reminds me a lot of what happened here, because in the mid 1990s, a decision was made by a company that the company is called McKinsey & Company. They approached several major insurance companies and pitched them this revolutionary idea. Much like what caused the housing bubble, it's the same thing. The idea was very simple, and I know this sounds like a stretch, but you got to, I know this sounds extreme, but just bear with me. The idea was to transform the claims departments for insurance companies into profit centers. So that was a conscious decision. So instead of focusing on patient care, they moved over to focusing on investor relations. That was the decision made. Now, I'm not saying that they did this knowing 1 out of 3 people are going to be denied, and you're going to have this chaos that we're in now, and it's only getting worse. But that is what the idea was. Now, let's talk about that idea, because that is the essence of this whole story right here. All right. The basics of the idea go like this. The strategy is this: delay the investigating claims as long as legally possible. So someone comes in for a claim, or someone's in the hospital, cancer, whatever, broken leg. He files a claim because he's been paying premiums for health insurance like everyone does. Instead of just the insurance company paying them out and approving it right away, now they're going to delay it as long as legally possible. The very next step is they're going to automatically deny it. Now, this is like you can go to my blog, which is right here, johnnylama.com. Everything I'm telling you right now, you see these links, everything is sourced, okay? About the strategy, about everything else. Everything is sourced. Everything I'm telling you is fact. But I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to research this all yourself, because that's the only way truth is going to win, right? But anyway, sorry about getting off topic. Deny the payment, and then if the patient comes back and he appeals said denial, defend the denial aggressively in a courtroom. So this is a big insurance company. So breaking it down, someone who is struggling in the hospital, the bills are piling up, the credit score is plummeting. They don't know if they're going to live or die. They're getting denied and delayed with tactics that we're going to talk about. Now they get a summons for court that they have to go up against all these lawyers who get paid a lot of money, and this is all they do, to defend their denial aggressively in court. Like I said, I know this sounds extreme. I know it sounds extreme, but it is not. This is all documented fact, and I encourage you to go and check my work. But It sounds extreme, but this was the conscious decision that was made. And we're going to be hearing from a whistleblower that just came out the other day. She spent 9 months at UnitedHealthcare, and she has now came forward and she tells of her experience with the first delaying what we're talking about today. So you're on the phone. She's going to say her tactics and how to delay the patient. A lot of it's medical jargon. A lot of it is, oh, you don't have the right paperwork. Can I requesting documents? They're trying to, it's sending you to different offices, to different managers. They're trying to frustrate you into giving up. Okay. So, I know. All right. So let's do this, man. Let's do this. The numbers here are staggering. Now, as I said, this started in the mid-1990s. Yes, it has accelerated exponentially in the past few years because of AI. Because AI is now doing it, thus removing all of the human compassion when denying an 80-year-old woman who has pancreatic cancer. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the human interaction anymore. In the mid-90s, it was computers. Computers could organize and sort which patients are more likely to appeal a claim, and even that was advanced. But the numbers here are quite staggering. Hospitals spent $10.6 billion last year fighting denied claims. $10.6 million hospitals spent, and we're talking about doctors being denied, and their patients are dying on the table, this, that, and the other. $10.6 billion in a single year just to fight the denied claims that should have been paid. $10.6 billion. UnitedHealthcare's revenue soared to $281 billion. UnitedHealthcare serves 49 million Americans. That is the population of Spain. That is a large portion of America, and they are denying 1 out of 3 patients. We do know that as a fact. Okay. In the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, is from legal scholar Jay Feynman. He writes the following, quote, "Insurance became less of a safety net and more of a spider's web, sticky and complicated, designed to ensnare as much as to aid," end quote. All right. Let's talk about this whistleblower who has came forward. Her name is Natalie Collins, and this is her Instagram page here. This is her. You see, I guess she's a nurse now, but this is I don't have an Instagram, but one of these is the video that went viral. Anyway, I learned about this lady from my wife, who sent me an article from News Nation. News Nation reached out. I'm a big News Nation fan, man. They cover a bunch of alien stuff, and I'm on board with that. They cover some pretty good stuff. But they interviewed her, and I'm not going to play the interview. The link is in my blog. You can go there if you want. But what she says is she went through training. It was called, as she called it, a systematic training of denial. It was a 3-month training just on how to deny claims. This is what she's saying. I don't know if it's 3 months. I shouldn't say that. It was a lengthy amount of time she went through training just to learn the tricks and how to deny claims. She says, "We weren't given proper instruction to actually pay the claim, and there wasn't enough monies in certain files in certain companies to pay medical claims. We would just have to get the client off the phone as fast as we could." So in the interview, someone calls up. they are, they're in the hospital, they're requesting a claim or the status of a claim. Immediately, what this whistleblower, Natalie Collins, is saying is she would read from a script how to delay this claim and delay this person on the phone. Like this, she's purposely trying to frustrate this client on the phone. Now, this lady is a whistleblower, and she did quit that job because of this. She didn't know this was happening until they made her do all this, right? And she talks about how she was crying every day about it. I mean, it must have been stressful. I don't want you to think she's a terrible person. But she would say some of the strategies were requesting documents and paperwork that would take a long time, or, would just make it complex for no reason. They would have a switchboard and send the patient who is requesting a claim to be paid out to different managers. They would deny those claims on the phone, and then wait, hold on. Let me just read some of this here. Let me see. All right. First, the patients, she would tell them that they filled out the wrong form, then require additional documentation. Then claim paperwork was incorrectly completed. As one former claims adjuster also noted, the goal is to make the process so expensive and so time-consuming that even lawyers would start refusing to help clients. So if a patient gets so frustrated, they would go get a lawyer. Even the lawyer would be so frustrated they wouldn't help the client. She says, let me see. Most disturbing is how the insurance companies reframe when a patient gets so frustrated they give up. Okay, I've been calling United Health for 2 months. I can't get approved. They won't approve me. They're asking for all this additional stuff. The doctor's calling. The doctor's getting denied. It's just one thing after the other. They're obviously doing this on purpose. I'm done. I'll just do what a lot of other Americans do. Take out a credit loan. Okay, I'll just destroy my credit. Is better than dying right here at the doctor's office, right? All right. When they do this, that is giving up. The patient's giving up at this point. At this point, when they give up, companies like UnitedHealthcare and other insurance companies are trained to reframe that. A patient gives up, let's put that patient into the fraudulent claims pile. So now and there was a UnitedHealthcare put out an article a few days ago, and it was very standard, and it was a lie. They said that we don't deny these claims, they're fraudulent. The fraudulent claims they're talking about, some of them are legitimately fraudulent, but the mass majority of these are patients that have given up. So they're saying, well, we can't pay out because these are fraudulent claims. The patients that get so frustrated and the lawyers that won't even take their case anymore are getting put into the fraudulent claims pile. That right there should be illegal. One lawyer, she is a managing partner in a North Carolina-based personal injury law firm, said the longer that they can delay and deny the claim, the longer that they can hold on to their money, and they're not paying it out. Insurance companies have an incentive to chisel their customers in order to increase profits. All right, I'm going to see right quick if we can. I'm going to pull up that article. I was kind of worried to do this because my iPad, I don't know if you have this problem, but it doesn't play video very well for whatever reason. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I want to show you that this whistleblower so you can at least see her face and and see her tone, how she's talking about it. So I'm going to try to pull it up right quick. If the sound works, if not, then, but let's try it here. Oops. Oh, I think one second, guys. Nope. I don't think it's going to even show up, guys. Let's see. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get this thing going here. No, I don't think this thing's going to show up. Anyway, I'll put the video on there. Sorry about that. My iPad's not even showing up anymore, so on the screen. But it's all good. Nope. All right. Moving on. Okay. Now, in the podcast, I talk about that right now, and this is going through the Senate. This is a whole investigation, and it's been going on even before Luigi Mangione pulled that trigger. But 90% of the insurance claims are 90% of the denied claims from companies like UnitedHealth. UnitedHealth is the leader in this. They deny most claims out of any other insurance company. 90% of those denied claims are overturned when appealed because they know that only 0.2% of patients will actually fight back and try to appeal and try to get legal help. So 90% of people are not, so they deny it real quick. 90% of people are not even going to touch it after that. All right, let me see. All right. By delaying payments, insurance companies invest what is called the float. So the float is the money that they hold when someone pays their premium. They collect this premium, and it's kind of like free money. I don't think any company, I think Geico, I may be wrong on this, but I believe Geico is the only one who can, if everything hits the fan, they could pay out everyone. I may be wrong on that, but I think I read that somewhere. So most insurance companies, if, we have this World War III or whatever, they won't be able to pay out everyone. And the money, so the insurance works by they collect all this premiums. And if they're not paying it out, their stock rises because they have more money cashed in, right? Or they have more money bundled up. And that's how that works. And I'm not an expert. All right. In the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, he talks about, Jay Feinman notes, quote, "This isn't about cheating customers here and there. This is transforming the claims process into a profit center. The new corporate culture worshipped growth and profit above all else, while intense price competition drove increasingly aggressive denial strategies." So people on Wall Street or whatever, they see these insurance companies making all this money. Then other insurance companies branch up because they're making money. More competition comes in, which squeezes the market even more. So now to continue making as much money with more competition, they have to deny more. So in order to do that, they got to figure out more and new strategies, which is what we're seeing now with this AI thing. So, an October Senate investigation revealed that UnitedHealthcare's denial rates for prior authorizations among Medicare Advantage patients had surged. The company's strategy, according to the internal documents, was to make the claims process so expensive and so time-consuming that lawyers would start refusing to help clients. This strategy also works like this. If someone calls in to get a claim, after the first delay process, they may be sent a purposely low initial lowball offer, which is way lower than what is needed to pay their hospital bill. A lot of people will accept this low payment, and those people will receive speedy service. Basically, they'll get them through the system. Yeah, we paid you, all good is here, get lost or whatever. If the people who don't accept this lowball payment, they face delays that could last for months. And a lot of these patients we're seeing end up dying because stage 3 cancer turns into stage 4 cancer within a few months, and they're still waiting on approval, and they can't get the treatment they need, so they end up dying anyway. And the delays become so lengthy that they're forced to file suit, which at this point, no lawyer really wants to take their case because they can't fight it, and they know they can't fight it. So, crazy. I can't see what's in the chat there. Does anybody have any kind of questions or I'm not an expert, but let's see. Let's wrap this thing up. In the Senate investigation from October, the one that's still being talked about today, there's several doctors that revealed their frustrations with these denials, especially the prior authorizations. So basically, an insurance company says, yes, you'll be approved. That way, they're not going to go to another insurance company. But when it comes down to, hey, write me a check for this treatment, no, we're going to deny it. As one physician testified at the hearing investigation, quote, we're seeing delays that can hurt a patient's chances for recovery or even survival. There's a quote in Jay Feynman's book, Delay, Deny, Defend, which kind of sums up how everything works here. If a homeowner, and this quote, if a homeowner hires somebody to paint his house and that painter never shows up, that homeowner can take the money that he had saved, his premium, to hire another painter. If the insurance company refuses to pay a claim, it's too late to go anywhere else. End quote. And I believe that sums it up, because especially with the prior authorizations, it's too late to switch insurance companies when you're sitting in the hospital, or your grandma's sitting in the hospital and she needs treatment. It's too late at that point. As my mom likes to say, that's how they get you. And so I don't know. That's what I learned today. A lot of it's from the whistleblower. The whistleblower came out, and in the episode, I also have some other quotes in there. Like one expert calls this a systematic profit machine designed to exhaust patients into giving up. So basically, in the 90s, it turned from insurance is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a weight off your shoulders. If you have home insurance or whatever, and your home gets destroyed, it's not there to make you rich, but it's there so you don't have to go into bankruptcy, and you don't have to sleep on the street, and you don't have to sleep in your car or even sell your car, and your wife and your kids aren't getting fed because you don't have anywhere to go, and it's just really hard. Insurance is there as the buffer. That's what it's designed for. It's not going to happen to everyone. Not everyone's house is going to burn down. But when it does, insurance is not there to make you rich or wealthy or pay you millions of dollars. It's there to make your life flow at roughly the same level it was until you're back on your feet. But the health insurance, what we're seeing now, it's not anywhere at that level. CEO Brian Thompson was going to an investor meeting where the revenue has soared to $281 billion. That looks good for a stock portfolio, but you think about it, if an insurance company has billions of dollars, that means either nobody is filing claims, everyone's healthy, paying premiums, and everyone's healthy and life is great, or they're denying claims. Those are the only two options that a company like UnitedHealthcare can post record profits. That's the only two options there. There's no other way. And, something's got to be done. A lot of people probably think that I'm doing this. I'm not glorifying murder, okay? But this guy has been killed, the CEO, and a message was sent, and people are up in arms about it. So let's actually look at the problem, and let's try to fix this insurance thing before, like when the housing market happened in 2008, everything just crashed and everything just went to shit. I mean, let's look at it now while the topic is really hot, and let's fix it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just UnitedHealthcare. It's pretty much all insurance. All of the insurance. I read one quote from the book that I'm reading now, talks about an Indiana woman who was rear-ended by a State Farm employee driving a State Farm car. She suffered a herniated disc and muscle tears, accumulating $15,000 in medical bills and lost wages. State Farm offered her $2,000, which is that's that lowball offer. Let's have her accept it. Granted, $15,000 is what her medical bills were. They offered her $2,000. That she went to court, and when it was all said and done, after 3 years, she received $1,500. So she received $500 less than what they offered her because she couldn't fight those lawyers, those aggressive. I mean, this is all they do. They got a stack of lawyers. How are you going to compete with that? The average person shouldn't have to do that, man. We need things in place. We need the government to step in. I mean, that's not like me to say, but dude, we need something here. This should not be profit machines. It shouldn't. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I found out today. I'm going to try to do these episodes every day. I'm really interested in this case, and obviously a lot of people are too, but a lot of people either think that when they hear this case, they think people are just glorifying this guy, Luigi. And yeah, I get it. He's like Ted Bundy. He's like went to whatever. It's late, guys. I'm sorry. He Ivy League school. He's the smart dude. All this stuff type of thing. It's got that appeal to it, right? But at the same time, like there's a bigger issue here. This insurance thing is getting worse. AI is not getting smarter. I can promise you it is advancing at a very scary pace, actually. An insane pace. So, who's glorifying Luigi? Who isn't glorifying Luigi? Yeah. But anyway, I want to say the podcast that I have, I'm trying to not be biased, okay? But like 70% of Americans who were polled, and I said this quote yesterday, it was 71% of Americans actually who were polled about this. This is a random poll, which will be the 12 jurors, right? Because the jurors are just your peers. 71%, let me pull up the real quote here. It says, this is a KFF poll, which this is the independent source for health policy research. And they polled a huge amount of people. I don't know how many, but they found that 2/3 of Americans blame insurance companies for high healthcare costs. Nearly half of insured adults report being unable to resolve claims problems satisfactorily, and 71% of those people think that the insurance companies are at fault or have some blame for the CEO's murder, which is, and we talked about, like, could Luigi walk? And that's a very real possibility. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Every day something's coming out new. If you ask me, I do think he's going to walk, or he'll get a very light sentence, because they are pursuing terrorism charges, and I just personally, I don't think they can convince a jury that should be warranted as a terrorist. But that's another story. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. That's what I found out today. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. But right now, I got to get some sleep. Thanks for being here, obviously. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, good night.